Hey everyone, my name is Kevin Eckmark and you're watching Ask a Web Op. So I have Baird, my friend, who I've known for probably I don't know, 7 years.
Yeah.
We met through church. I helped out with his small group and through a mutual friend who was also a pretty amazing guy. But Van owns his own State Farm agency. He's also deeply ingrained in social media and the relational equity world. And so we invited him today just to talk about that a little bit. So Van, do you want to talk about a little bit of what you're doing in terms of how you're connecting people with the financial world and relationships?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for doing this. Thanks for having me. This is, I guess I'm your biggest fan. I mean, maybe.
Right.
Ask a Web Op series has been pretty cool. Glad you guys are doing this.
Yeah.
But from a financial services standpoint, I live in a world of products that are the EpiPen of financial planning. Like stuff that you have to drive a car, to get a mortgage on a home, and you hope and pray you never have to use. So it's not the most exciting thing to talk about, engage people about, and I mean, if you turn on a TV, you're going to see a car commercial and then followed by an insurance commercial. So it's everywhere. So my philosophy has always been, how do I make it fun, and how can I give back based on you're paying us for something you hope you never use. So how do I engage there, and how do I create relational equity? And so you hear a lot of times content is king. You got to drive the content. That's why you guys do this, which is great. But at the same time, you have customers, and those customers have content, and that could be business content, or it could just be, hey, here's a trip I'm going on, or here's what I'm dealing with my dad, or whatever. And so I'm encouraging people and trying to challenge other business owners. What are you doing to listen to your clients' content?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and it's interesting to see how you're taking something that's kind of a boring topic, or like some business owners might be like, I've got a boring business. What do I have to say? And you're really turning it into something where it's not about what you're doing, but really how you're helping people out.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big differences. So you do have something to talk about, and you do have something to kind of get your brand out about.
Well, I do, but it's usually coming from the people that I'm engaging with.
Yeah.
So the power of a referral, as we all know, is great. So what I've leaned into is using social media, using digital platforms to lift other people up. So Beyonce was on The View, and one of the ladies said, "You are Beyonce." I mean, it was like a verb. It was, and she said, "Thank you." I mean, she's gotten to that point where she's elevated herself and her brand. And so, I said earlier, content is king, but relationships are Beyonce. So if she's the queen, your relationships really are. So to know that TrustWorks has a web op series, to know that that's important to you guys, and to use my own platform to elevate that, costs me nothing, builds that relational equity, puts your name out there, and Seth Godin talks all the time about building a tribe. We all want tribes. And so I've got people that are sharing what is important to them online. I'm just really in tune to listening versus shouting from the rooftops all about me and what I can do for them. I would rather just elevate them. And then if by chance they talk about me, it's going to be based off of, just because they want to. Yeah. I didn't ask them to. And so that relationship trumps any of my content marketing.
Yeah, and that's what you said about raising people up and maybe not even talking about you all the time, the whole me thing.
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues that we come across, or that we always fight against, is seeing small businesses always trying to push a sale. Mm-hmm. And they use social media especially as a sales mechanism to push out the next promotion, or buy from me right now, or I'm having a sale right now. And you do it the exact opposite way.
Well, yeah, and I'm guilty of maybe going too far the other way. But if I'm a disciple of Jesus for my faith, I'm a disciple of Gary Vaynerchuk for my social media. And he does preach the jab, 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 right hook mentality. And I hope other business owners learn to make that synonymous. Just that analogy of boxing. of jabbing with, giving stuff away. It doesn't have to be money, it doesn't have to be monetary, but give away your platform to people that you believe in and causes that you believe in and what's important to them. And it's hard for me to call it a marketing strategy because of the situation I'm in. The financial world that I live in, it's more of a ministry anyway.
Right.
So I have the ability to sit across from somebody and not have to push a sale, and that kind of has shown up in the way I do social as well. I don't have to push anything.
Yeah.
And so I think that resonates with people. So as small business owners, have your content, buy the Facebook ads, do the Instagram ads. But what if once a month you did it for a client you really believe in? What if you elevated them and paid a little bit to promote them, just because you believe in them? We all want somebody to believe in us. When we start that small business, we want that one cup of coffee, we want that one beer with somebody, and they go, man, I'm in, I believe in you, and I want to support everything you're doing.
Right.
And that gives us so much confidence. And so I remember those days, I'm still in those days, and would love for people to go, no, I'm going to champion what you're doing because I believe in you. And so that's where that mentality comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. Van, I think you're probably the 1% of people who really go in there and can handle all these things, just like Gary Vaynerchuk, and manage all these different.
You just compared me to Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm done. Thanks.
So you can actually go into Twitter and manage it. You can manage your conversations. I've seen your presentation on everything you're doing, and it's quite a lot. I mean, you have to stay really organized and stay on top of it, and you still manage to have a life. But I feel like most of the people who try to do it aren't able to control the conversation, to stay in tune with the conversation, and control everything else that they really need to focus on with their business. So what are the kinds of things that you're doing to stay engaged right now and stay organized if someone believes that they are part of that 1% that can actually go in there and do it?
Well, thanks. I mean, it's smoke and mirrors for the most part. So I'll let that perception run. But I've had to identify on each platform what I want that platform to do, either for me or for someone else. So social media fatigue is a real thing. And so if you're only trying to get your message out on Twitter, you better be really, really good at Twitter because it's really, really, really noisy. And so I use Twitter more as a curating, looking for content, looking for things to share, not for myself, it's for other people. And still try to have conversations, but it's so noisy. And so that's a curating stream for me. If you're not living in lists world, whether it's a third-party app or the actual native Twitter list, it can be extremely difficult to keep up.
Right.
And so I live in those lists. They are looking for ways, for ideas, things to talk about on other platforms. So I'm having more conversations on Snapchat.
Right.
So that's just where that's moved to. Used to be, Twitter was a large cocktail party. Now it really is Snapchat if you can get that interaction going.
Snapchat has exploded right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so that's where I've moved the conversation to. And I'm listening to some really good stories there.
Yeah.
People have gotten beyond the stigma of it being, a dirty picture sharing app and, kids picking on one another app. It's really, there's some people telling some great stories.
Really engaging, and we have a couple of clients who are using it on their own, and they're doing a fantastic job at it.
Well, I want to know who they are because I want to follow them and keep up with them. So Facebook, though, is where if you're gonna push content, that's where we should be going. Right. You've got your business page that you can grow from a grassroots effort, and then the personal page. And I see people struggling, business owners, to share something on their page and then they don't share it to their personal account. And that's you've got to get those eyeballs on there and open up that algorithm. So that's still the money shot is Facebook, if you really want to get your word out. Yeah, and so I just divide that up based on what am I really trying to accomplish with whatever different medium I'm trying to use.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of people are abandoning Facebook, and I think it's
crazy.
It's a mistake.
Yeah.
And especially they just released that organic
the targeting.
Thank you. And we used it on one of our last posts, and that organic targeting actually did better than our videos. Yeah. Which was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They're showing it to who you want it to be shown to. So
it's all about relevancy right now, personalization, making sure that you're actually connecting those one-on-one relationships almost. and then you can move it to either Facebook Message or to Snapchat, like you were saying, which is it's a fantastic tool.
Yeah. But I would encourage people, look, if you only want to stick on one platform, stick with it and get really, really good at it.
Yeah,
Don't feel the pressure to be everywhere.
exactly.
Because if you can identify in one space, you're going to do way better than trying to juggle all the other.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll be pulling your hair out
Yeah.
at that point. So, what are a couple of things that you're really excited about right now in the social media, the tools, the networks that are going out right now?
Yeah. Well, we talked briefly about Snapchat. I'm really, really curious to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the analytics you have in a lot of other platforms, but at the same time, it's capturing my attention, and it's not juvenile. I'm getting some really good content from other people, and people are learning how to pull other people in. So that's probably pretty exciting, and I just think from the way we're all going to be connected digitally, depending on who you read, within 5 to 10 years, there's not going to be a struggle to find things anymore. Right. I mean, we're going to be able to curate, find, and then elevate in a hurry. So I think what I would encourage, and what I'm most excited about, is that I was thinking about this on the way over. Has there ever been a time in history where we can take something we're dreaming about and just make it happen?
Right.
I mean, what can't we do with an idea at this point? The resources are there. There's people that have grown up in this world now that for the last 10 years have seen what social and digital can do. They're willing to invest financially. They're willing to invest relationally, and I think that's the exciting thing, is that the explosion that's going to happen, I think, is we haven't even begun to see where this is going to go. As we continue down that Star Trek and Star Wars path of things that were fictional and are coming to life now, it's a pretty exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. So Van, let's see, where can we find you? Where do you want to be found right now?
I'm the easiest guy in the world to Google. There's no other Van Baird that should pop up. So that gives you all my accounts. It's at Van Baird.
Put your name right
on
here.
Twitter. It's at Van Baird on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. We didn't touch on that, but talk about a noisy place. That was another thing. So I actually unfollowed a bunch of people and I didn't really lose any followers because of that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to pay attention to what I wanted to pay attention to on Instagram.
And followed a bunch of brands recently.
Okay.
Because they were just putting out crap.
Are they? Yeah.
And it was the same stuff over and over and over again. I was just like, we've seen the same picture of the same scene over and over again.
Yeah.
Just a different filter.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to brands that get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's out there. Relational Equity is out there. SF Agent Van. But I usually just use that Twitter account to really listen to my clients. So I'm not following a lot of people back that aren't clients there. So,
what about Snapchat?
Snapchat is actually my name backwards. So
there you go.
Driabnav, which is
Also,
fun.
Right here.
Which is fun to do, and saying my name using the Snapchat filter and then playing it backwards.
Okay.
It actually says my account name.
Interesting.
When you do it backwards. Yeah. So anyway.
I have to do that later today.
Okay.
Will you do that for me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect.
Messes with people. They think their Snapchat's broken.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Van, for coming. And we're going to have him do a 60-second marketing fix real quick. So don't miss that. That's going to be coming out today, too. So thanks, everyone. And we'll talk to you next week.